Hi, I'm Edisa Shahini, digital editor and content creator based in Vienna. Today I'm starting a new series called City Diaries Through Their Eyes. A series where I meet friends and inspire people to discover their favorite places in the cities they call home. From cafes to hidden corners to galleries, restaurants and a little everyday rituals that make a city personal. For the very first episode, I'll be spending my day with the founder of the jewelry brand Pataaka, Natasha Kapoor, as she takes me through her favorite spots in Vienna. But before this video continues, don't forget to like and subscribe and to follow me on this journey. Now let's see Vienna through Natasha's eyes. Natasha, thanks for being my first guest in my series for my YouTube channel.
Of course.
This is amazing that we met after such a long time now.
Yes.
I think it was December when we met,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
December, yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in Vienna and how we met. You can also tell a little bit about our little story and about your brand, Pataaka.
Of course. Thank you so much. We are really in one of my most favorite squares in Vienna, the Franziskaner Platz.
Yes.
And also in the terrace of Kleines Café, which is also super popular and famous already because of the movie
Yes.
Before Sunrise with Julie Delpy. Fun fact, I actually never saw that film.
Really?
Yes, even since I was coming to Vienna so much, all of these years, I never saw that film. I only saw that film last year for the first time in Vienna, in one of the open theaters that happen,
outside.
yes, outside, right by Augarten.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
so in the one of the gardens of the Augarten, they do this open theater, which is where I saw
So
it.
romantic.
So romantic and so befitting, and I really could recognize all of the spots, and I love that I had that experience because I could recognize so much of Vienna in the movie. But to tell you a little bit more about myself, of course, I'm Natasha Kapoor. I'm originally from India, and I have been coming to Austria pretty much my whole life because my family had a business in the pigment manufacturing industry for 35 years. So it's originally was owned by an Austrian-German family based out of Salzburg. So we have business ties with Austria, but also over the last 35, 40 years, even personal ties, because we were so closely associated with the family professionally, but also personally. And when the company's headquarters moved to Vienna, I was working here a lot more with the global team that was located in Vienna. So I started to come here and spend a lot of time for business, still with the pigment business. And then I truly fell so deeply in love and so madly in love with the city, and it inspired me so much that I decided to start my own business here in the city of Vienna. And also, even though Vienna is my dreamland, I had to also bring something from my motherland, which is India. And I wanted to have this kind of cross-cultural exchange where I'm bringing something that is perhaps designed here and has the European Viennese sensibilities, but it's crafted by Indian skills and craftsmanship, which the whole world today is talking about, which is absolutely exceptional, and it gives me the utmost joy to bring to the European audience and to the Viennese audience a little piece of India here that they can enjoy, that's built with so much craft, love, culture, legacy, just like the city of Vienna as well. So that's what I'm doing in Vienna, is building my brand and business. And
Wow.
we met through an amazing pop-up at the Cosmeteri.
Exactly.
We had so much fun that day, but it's also that when I met you, it really felt like an old
We know
friend.
each other for a long time.
And I love when that happens, that you
Exactly.
just connect,
Right
across
away.
cultures right away.
Exactly, because the fact that we met in a store and we didn't really spoke too much to
That's
each
true.
other, and we were then after also texting to each other. We saw again each other for in our office.
Yes.
And now today we are doing this interview, which tells a lot
Yes.
because I trust you. I know
Yes.
you love what I'm doing, and I love what you do.
Thank you.
And that we both come from the same, let's say, same sphere of
And
vision of design and beautiful things.
Yes.
And I really wanted to give you the space as well to show more about your brand, so that we talk about Pataaka, the history, about you, and how much you love Vienna as much as I do.
Yes.
And this series, my friends and people that inspire me will show the city around or the places you love. And so that's why we choose this place. I also love this cafe a lot. I spent so much time when I was a student.
Yes.
Obviously, when you're a student, you have a lot of time to spend outside.
Yes.
And this cafe was one of them. I think that was also pre Instagram, the time when it was not so crowded like now today. And
Exactly.
we choose Saturday, which is quite busy, but we still had so much luck to find this beautiful table
Perfect
spot, so that you can also see it exactly where we are. And yeah, so I'm very excited for our day today. We will spend quite a lot of time together. We will move to other places as well, so stay tuned and see what we are going to show more.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, I want to quickly add some fun facts actually about this cafe. Yes, the thing is that what I was very intrigued by is how small this cafe is, and very befitting because it's called Kleines Cafe,
Exactly.
which in German, for our English-speaking audience, means small.
Small coffee, yes, cafe.
And it's super small from the inside, but if you just take a sneak peek inside, I was fascinated at how spacious they made it and how many people can fit in this very, very
in
small
winter,
cafe.
exactly, yeah.
And even though Vienna, you are spoiled for choice when it comes to cafe, as you know.
You have a lot of cafe places and really
Exactly.
nice.
The coffee
locations.
culture in Vienna
Number one, yeah.
is really one of the best, I think, in the world.
Exactly.
I think the coffee is exceptional. However, the cafe architecture is inspired by Adolf Loos, and it's designed by Hermann Czech, who was inspired by Adolf Loos, and that's why you see these like amazing archways that add this space. And this is so Viennese because they will convert the smallest space into the most beautiful.
And the menu is also very small, so it's very Viennese, so you don't have a lot to choose. You don't have matcha here. Don't ask about that. Don't ask about different kind of milk choices, so you will get what they serve. And it's very traditional, has a lot of history. That's why also the movie was filmed here, because if you look then back, like the view here, I will show the view as well. It's really kind of like you're in a small city or like a small village, because it's the first district of Vienna, and it still has this very traditional look.
Yeah, and the owner of the cafe was actually in the movie. He's the man that you see arguing because he's an actor.
Yes, true.
So he actually
I forgot
is in the
because
movie.
I watched the movie a long time ago when I was here. I think after 7 years or something, I was like, I need to watch this. And
yes, he's one of the actors in the scene when that you see is arguing with someone in the background. That actor is actually the owner of Kleines Cafe.
It's time to watch it again.
Yes,
because sometimes movies you need to rewatch after such a long time, you forget it. Yes,
absolutely.
So Natasha, can you tell me a little bit what inspired you to start your brand, to found your brand?
Yes. So I always wanted to have my own business. So there was a deep desire to have my own business firstly. That was the first motivation. The second motivation was to build something that deeply is coming from a space of design led, like a design led business, being bringing to the world different kinds of art and craftsmanship, because I always grew up in this kind of an environment where I saw so much craft. So I wanted to find a way to bring this to the rest of the world. So that was a deep desire. But more than anything, I wanted to build and create a brand that has something for everyone. Inclusivity is super important to me. Feeling like you can belong in a community is very important to me. As a global citizen of the world, as I like to call myself, I think it's super important to make everyone feel like they have a space on the table. Exactly. So with Pataaka also, even though we are focusing on silver jewelry, it's a brand that I want all people who visit us to feel like there is something for them. And finally, because I had to narrow down on a product, we decided to focus on jewelry, because India has some of the finest gemstones in the world. It has the finest craftsmanship when it comes to jewelry. So it was really that my design interests met with this amazing prowess that my country has when it comes to gemstones and silver, and these amazing techniques to make them that are actually passed on generations. So I went in that direction. But if you see our page, and as you know a little bit about the brand as well, it's so deeply inspired from the design language of Vienna as a city, and it's so deeply inspired by everything that I learned here as well. And I really put both of these together and created this very, very personal brand. And my brief to a lot of the designers that I've worked with, when it's come to our branding, when it comes to even talking about the brand, it's really like it's like a woman wearing a sari, but in an Art Deco style. So if a sari had
Gustav Klimt a little bit
on a sari,
yeah,
exactly, exactly.
Wonderful.
And as I started to go deeper into the brand, I realized how many similarities there are between our cultures as well. So it really was super fun and interesting and very motivating. So
like people like you actually also change the style of. I think we needed brands like Pataaka. We need also other brands. Always, there's always space for everyone.
Yes.
To bring a little bit international flair to the city, because I live here since. Now 23 years. When I came here, I love the city, obviously. It was very traditional, but there was really a lack of international brands like Pataaka that we would say, okay, this is something, it has some spice in it.
Yes.
And I think this is such a great idea that you really are trying to build the brand. The brand is still very new.
Absolutely.
You started last year, right?
Exactly.
In August.
Yes.
So which means that there is a very long journey to go, and you will grow, where you will be even more inspired by people that you will meet every day.
Absolutely.
And this is such a great story that you really choose Vienna.
Yes.
And also probably Salzburg, right? Because Salzburg, Vienna has also quite a lot of similarities and in the tradition, and yeah, I find it really amazing.
Thank you.
And why silver? Do you also plan to have gold jewelry in the future? Because Indian gold jewelry is amazing, and
so
you
special.
value a lot
Yes.
for weddings, and it's very important for Indian customers as well.
Absolutely. So the brand this brand is with my mom. So my mom and I co-founded this business and this brand, first in Europe and also in India. And we were discussing from a long time, what style of jewelry we want, But to keep it inclusive and to keep it accessible for all, we needed to find a metal that also has this. If we go into gold, it would be so expensive, or rather, the dynamic nature of the metal makes it quite complicated for a new business like ours to start with. So we have some pieces in gold, mostly in pearls, but it's still a small collection. We focus more on silver because silver has a more accessible nature to the metal. But as you know, recently silver prices have also gone up like crazy.
True.
But this also means that silver has also
more value.
has more value now,
And
and
people will also buy it. Like,
absolute.
instead, like, obviously you cannot compare gold to silver, but I find silver is having their moment as well. Silver is having really like it was, I think, 20 years ago. I remember when I was in high school, I was like, I'm not going to wear gold because gold was for me too old-fashioned, let's
Yes.
say, and
Yes.
silver was cooler and you could combine it more. And I think silver is coming back as for a style, how to style it.
Yes.
It's really, it works on every skin tone, I think, right?
Absolutely.
It's just a very beautiful metal.
You can play a lot with the gemstones with silver as well. We use only semi-precious natural gemstones. So it just keeps the brand, I think, very accessible for all across countries and borders. Also, silver ages very well, so it's actually a myth that you need to, store away silver. I have the contrary opinion. If you wear your silver every day and you keep it alive, it ages so beautifully.
Yeah.
So I would also recommend everyone listening that, wear your silver, take it out for
Show it off.
show it off. So yes. So Edisa, I bought something very small for you.
Thank you so much, my dear.
From
You should have not done
our spring summer collection. It's really something that you can wear for everyday use. But the most important thing that I want to share is that the minute we made this piece, I felt like it would be perfect for you.
Really?
So,
I'm
yes.
very curious to see it.
So, you know how we say, like, it's so you. So,
Wow.
yes.
Now I'm
So,
even more curious.
Yes.
Let me hold this. This is the branding. I love it. And I love the color. It's
Thank
very
you.
timeless.
Yes.
Green is actually my favorite color.
Yes.
The table is also green, so it works very well.
And this is, I think, a cool reminder that when in doubt, bring it out.
Bring it out. Always. It works out always, yeah.
Yes.
Show me what's inside.
Okay, so please
yes.
open it.
I will open it.
I can.
Thank you.
Yes.
I will see what it is. Oh my god, this is so cute.
So it's rose quartz. These are natural rose quartz gemstones. You can wear it every day, please. And we have also the silver balls that we gold plated. You can wear it every day. You can shower with it. You can work out with it. I know you love to do Pilates, so
it's not
you
a problem to
absolutely
shower or keep it really gorgeous.
Exactly.
I think I just have to take it the
tags,
but it's fine. We'll do it later. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And
this is really gorgeous.
Like, it looks amazing on you. And also, rose quartz is the stone of love, and it's also the stone of like femininity. It's such a feminine color, also with the baby pink. So I think it's so perfect for you.
So much.
Yeah.
Thank you. So nice.
My pleasure.
Thanks for the gift. Unfortunately, I don't have any gift today, but next time, because I'm a Southeastern European. If we get gift, we need to give back something right away. It's like our mentality. But next time we will meet again.
Of course.
And thank you so much, my dear.
My pleasure.
So, Natasha, how would you describe Vienna in 3 words?
I would say legacy. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. The city has incredible legacy. The more you learn about the city, the more one realizes its absolutely enormous impact on the art world, in every sense.
Yeah.
So legacy is the first word that comes to my mind. The second word that comes to my mind is how just painfully beautiful it is. I think it's a picture perfect city.
It is.
It's for me really the personification of a perfect city. So perfection is what is the second word, beauty, perfection.
Uh-huh.
And the third
Right.
thing that comes to my mind is family. And I say this
Really?
because, yes,
Very interesting.
and
Never heard about this
yes,
before.
and also how matriarchal, the Habsburgs who ruled Vienna for so many years and left their impact on the city, how matriarchal they were. And I absolutely love this. And you can also see this in the city. And I say this because, any city is really made by how special its people are. And for me personally, with my very long association with Austria, with its people,
Yeah.
the new friends I'm making, also like yourself, I find that even though we all speak different languages and we come from slightly different cultures, maybe, we are all so similar at the end of the day. And that's why I feel like my family values or our family values that I come from, I also find them very similar here.
True.
And also, like I said, as you learn more about the culture, you realize how family oriented the culture here is as well.
Yeah. It's interesting because sometimes, when you come from a different part of the world, you always have, or if you have never lived in a other place, let's say when you grew up in India, you probably had a completely different mindset about Europe. But when you travel, the more you meet people, then actually we just are divided by location and by
Exactly.
culture.
Yes.
But still, the values or like family values are many
Yes.
places are the same.
Yes.
And then you see that actually if you are kind of person that you're open to explore and to learn more cultures, we are all the same.
Exactly. Exactly.
But obviously, the culture of the food is different, and
Yes.
thanks to the globalization, we have Indian culture here as well. We have a lot of good restaurants in Vienna.
Absolutely.
I have to come to that question as well later.
Yes.
But before I ask you about food or
Yes.
the culinary experience in Vienna, what would you do if a friend of yours would come to Vienna for 24 hours? What would you do with them
Yeah.
within 24 hours?
Yeah, great question. I've had this happen to me many, many times. I've had a little bit more than 24 hours with friends here because I don't let anyone visit me in Vienna for only 24 hours. That's, for me, such a colossal mistake is to come to
Exactly.
Vienna for 24 hours. But if there was someone who came for only 24 hours, like a friend, if they could bike, then I would put them on a bike and then I
Make sure
would.
that they can really bike.
Yes, then exactly. We would grab some rental bikes.
Yes.
There's a place in the Fourth that I always rent from. I also got my bike from them. I love them.
A real bike, so
A real
not
bike.
not
Yes,
those bikes from the
scooter.
city. Yes.
Yeah, no, not
Because
those.
those are
Like
not good.
they are not good, and they start to hurt a little bit.
Exactly.
No, it's a proper bike. It's a KTM bike. So I'm so like Austrian, like that I got
Exactly. Very sporty.
KTM bike. Yeah, I would put them on a bike, and then because I feel like it's the best way to see the city.
Yeah, and it's easy to really roam around with a bike in the
Exactly.
city. You have bikeways, and it's safe. And
It's super safe. It's incredible that the city has a dedicated bike path almost everywhere. You can go everywhere by bike. As much as your legs can bike, you can go all
you
over
can go
Austria on a bike.
everywhere.
So, yeah,
True.
this is also a bucket
Actually,
list dream of mine to do this one day. But I would put them on a bike, take them to the second district.
Okay.
We would stop at Golden Gate Papagay, which is
love
one of my
that.
favorite cafes in Vienna. Also,
Breakfast.
have breakfast, grab a coffee, and then go down to the Prater. do a little picnic in the Prater.
It's also a quiet like spot. If you visit Vienna, you need to go to Prater first.
Exactly. So I would do this, which is a little bit offbeat, I would say. But then I would start to bring them back. We would drop off our bikes, and that's when all of the museum tours will start, because I'm a huge museum fan, and I really want to tell everyone, if you're in Vienna, please get the Bundesmuseum card. It's the best one. You can cover all of the federal museums, almost all of them in Vienna. It's so epic that the city does this.
Yes.
I've not seen this happen a lot in other places because,
True.
the foundations are either privately owned, so you can't have the system, but Vienna is so incredible that you have all of these federal museums connected with each other, and you can visit them for a flat fee, which lasts a year. Also, some of the private museums here are amazing. There are a few of them, like the Heidi Horton Museum, for example. But I would then take them to the Albertina, because I feel like it's such an institution in Vienna. I don't think any trip is complete.
So you would go to the museums,
to
Vienna,
the Albertina.
The best thing actually, Vienna has that the ring.
Yes.
Many cities don't have it because you need to walk really kilometers from one place to another.
Yeah.
But here you can actually just like use this ring, and basically it's possible to see many places within 24 hours. Let's say it's going to be stressful. Obviously, you cannot spend hours at Kunsthistorisches Museum or to other places.
After the Albertina, I would take them for a coffee break. And we will either have a coffee at the museum itself. They have a really beautiful cafe which overlooks the garden as well, the Burg Garden. But also, not many people know this, I'm sure you know this, that Demel has a little kiosk
place
inside where you can get the Kaiserschmarren, which
you don't have to wait and stand half an hour or more.
I'm always, obviously it's a stunning experience to go inside
of Demel
Cafe and but you don't have to wait for so many hours because it's so popular, so you can get your Kaiserschmarren.
Thanks for mentioning it, because that's a great tip. I will also write everything down what you have tell us.
And then walk to the garden outside. You can sit also overlooking the Staatsoper, which is a stunning view. So you can have this view, have your Kaiserschmarren, relax a little bit.
Actually, this also comes up that movie that we talked about.
That's true. Before
you have that, that
that's
view
so
of
true.
Albertina.
And then I would walk them from one of my most favorite spots in Vienna, which is the Museum's Quartier. It's incredible that the city has a dedicated space for such amazing art. I'm not sure if everyone knows this outside of Viennese, but Egon Schiele's largest collection, which is a private collection, is at the Leopold Museum, available for viewing. It's a must-see. Also, Gustav Klimt's works all over the city, in multiple places. At the Belvedere, of course, but even outside of the Belvedere, there's the Mack Museum. It's just absolutely fantastic. Museum's Quartier, where you have to sit on the NZ and take some photos there, because which trip is complete without? There's a super Viennese thing to do, I think. And you know that people vote for the color of the NZ, and then they change it every, I think, a few seasons. Yes, and then I would walk them to the 7th, which is the coolest district. I love the 7th so much, Neubau. Just walk around the 7th and finish up.
Or go and check some nice shops there.
The shops are cool. It's such a hipster vibe.
Very nice lunch spots.
Yes, there's the first Ototo cafe there, which is epic. Lots of cool kind of brands also inside Ototo that you can pick from. I love that whole vibe. Also lots of camera shops. I'm a little bit of a camera freak, so I love going in always, seeing what's up. You can also buy a second-hand camera. There's also the Westlich Museum there, which is a photography museum. And then I would end with a super chill dinner at 7 North, which is also again one of my favorite restaurants in Vienna, at the Max Brown Hotel. So yeah, that would be my
Wow.
24 hours.
Actually, guys, if you know Natasha, you should book her.
Yeah, I'm so happy. If
She's such a
anyone wants
great
to.
guide. I mean, actually, that would be a perfect day, you know, like just visiting art museums and
Yes.
have nice coffee, have Kaiserschmarrn without waiting in a crazy line where
Yes.
it's just getting crazy and crazy. Actually, with the
Oh my
lines are
gosh.
like
It's
you know, like
unbelievable.
Café Central was the same thing that I was like, oh my god, I love that cafe house, but
Yes.
if you're going to wait that long for coffee, it's just a little bit ridiculous.
Yes.
I understand that people want to go in.
Also, I mean, cafes like Cafe Getzner, for example,
Yes.
has a little section in the front
Yeah.
where you can grab your cake and
True.
coffee and then go
Go
to
to
one of the
the
gardens.
yeah.
Because just waiting around is such an exhausting experience, even though the cafes are so stunning, and I really recommend everyone making bookings ahead. But also, what trip is fun if you have
Just
to
go
book
out,
everything
or you
in
go out
advance?
really and stroll around, and you can sit in
Exactly.
front of the opera house, for example. It's very
Yes.
nice as well.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. So there's so much to do
Yes.
if you cannot get a table, for example, in the
Yeah.
touristic places.
Yes.